In the world of classical music, there are young artists who enter the public eye not through spectacle, but through a quiet and undeniable force. Today, at the invitation of Global Music Review, we visit the home of Audrey, a 15-year-old pianist who has already begun to leave a meaningful mark on the international stage. At a young age, when most young musicians are still exploring their path, she has become a young Steinway artist and youngest recipient of Vancouver Mayor's Achievement Award, and serves as the executive director of the PRM Piano Competition Committee. What kind of talent, discipline, and inner resolve bring a teenager to the center of the spotlight? With these questions in mind, we come to meet her, hoping not only to understand her achievements, but to listen to the authentic voice of a young artist finding her place in this world. I wanted to ask you, what made you drawn to the piano in the first place?
Music has predominantly been like a big part of my life, especially during my childhood years. When I was younger, I'd say I was more of a shy kind of child. Piano was more of a quiet space for me almost. A way when I came back from school or sports, it's a way to unwind. I've kind of developed this idea that piano has to be full of technicality, you have to win competitions. When I first initially moved back to Hong Kong, because I met Mr. Edward Han's Young before that, but I had to move back because I wanted to be more immersed in Chinese culture. While I was growing up, I think when I was younger, I didn't realize the power that music held, but through meeting him, he influenced me a lot. It shouldn't be so competitive, rather more of a voice. And also with his compositions, for example, I play some of his Chinese pieces, so I think that really helps me connect with my culture as well.
You've learned from so many different teachers. Has any of them have any specific influence on you continuing to play piano?
I think each of them play a very specific role, especially in my journey of playing piano, gaining different perspectives. For example, with Miss Tang Wei Hua, I did a lot of technicality with her, so I think that was a really big part of my life because it set that kind of solid foundation. And then as I moved on, moving on to Master Liu Shikun, and also right now with Edward Han's Young and Fiardo, but also they both they all inspire me in different ways.
I know you've won so many other prizes during the preparation for these international competitions and get you this international recognition. I read that you actually performed in Carnegie Hall in New York in 2019 and as a gold prize winner. I just want to know what was going through your head?
It's definitely a really big surprise to find out that I was playing in Carnegie. It was a really defining moment in my life. I was obviously very nervous to play at Carnegie. But I think the most important thing for me was that on the stage, I think a lot of this goes away. More like a blackout, you're able to be one-on-one with the piano.
I also saw that you went on tour. You performed at Music Varian Global Hall in Vienna. Was there a particular moment or an applause or feedback from the audience that really moved you?
In terms of the audience, I've had kids come up take pictures with me and give flowers with their parents, and I think that's really meaningful to me because you get to see kind of what a diverse population or audience you reach, and I think that to me moves me a lot.
I feel people have been saying your playing has improved so much since you were little. What do you feel the biggest change in your mindset is then and now?
I'm assuming I think while I was practicing all of the technicality things, I think it gets boring after a while. You don't really think about the future. You're just in the present. You're oh, this is taking so long. I think especially looking back and reflecting, those hours on the piano is what made me be able to play these repertoires now. But I think those hours on the piano really solidifying that kind of foundation really helped me.
I heard that when you were little, you had dreams of helping people. Where did you come up with these ideas, and what made you want to do fundraising?
When I was a child, like I was very, very young, and I was sitting on the couch with my father, and we like watched the news a lot together. Seeing someone your age, like someone so young, like struggling, like it shattered my heart. But I just remember like seeing a lot of children like obviously looking stressed and like in distress, and like seeing them like have no access to like clean water. The most important part of like what inspired me to do all of this, that I just started doing a lot of charity recitals. Like I realized like, oh, I can use my piano to help other people. Like I can finally do something to help others, especially like people in marginalized communities.
You donated your entire touring income, which is like $30,000 Canadian. How did you feel like when you were like signing the check?
I think it was like a very defining moment in my life. It's like I was really happy that I got to like kind of like put towards like the sum of money to like somewhere better, like knowing that like I'm already very like grateful for all of the opportunities I get, especially from my parents. I really hope that I can get other children to experience like the same experience as me, like gaining these opportunities.
I feel like your generosity has supported like music education and like the community development in general. How does that sense of achievement like make you feel like compared to like winning an actual award?
I think especially with piano, like even now, like it's a very competitive like activity. I think like as I mentioned in like previous questions, like piano is more of a voice to me now and like a voice to others. I like now realize that like piano and like music isn't all about like perfection or like technicality, and it's more so like being able to help others. So especially to like people in like marginalized communities, I think that's like what I try to focus on more now, like being able to provide music to them and like give them opportunities.
How do you really balance such a heavy academic workload with spending hours playing piano?
I think like finding that balance is really key, but I think like as I grew up, I think I'd say now it's like more vocal towards me. Like I use it as a voice, like not just for myself, but also like for others. And I think that was like the major difference.
You always seem so poised and confident, but behind the scenes, have you ever like had anything you've had to sacrifice?
Misconception that people have is that like everything's always like so perfect, but like I also had like a lot of downs in my life. Like I think a lot of the confidence like usually stems from like hours and hours of practicing, which people usually don't recognize. In terms of like piano, I think like seeing like other kids outside, like obviously it hurts, like it's like, oh, I want to be out there. And I knew that like if I kind of like gave up piano, or like if I prioritized my own well-being over others, like it just didn't suit right with me. It's more so like I like want to do this for others.
In November 2025, you became the youngest young Steinway artist in Vancouver's history. And how did Mr. Hang Jiang like elevate your professional level and get you this like international recognition?
The Young Steinway Artist is a very like distinguished, very prestigious award. And when I was first applying, like I was like obviously worried. He's very direct with everything I need to do in order to get this award. Just being there like both physically and mentally is like incredibly important, and I'd say it's like the biggest like reason why like I even like got the award.
Congratulating Audrey for winning Vancouver's Youth Merit Achievement.
In 2025, you became the youngest recipient of the Vancouver Mayor's Achievement Award. How do you view the social responsibility that come with such an achievement?
It's like a recognition for like all of the hard work I thought that would never pay off. The most important part in terms of like social responsibility is like showing other people that like, oh, like you can never be too young to do something. Just being able to get this recognition like continues to kind of like drive me to like use my values to help other people.
You're also executive director of the 4th PRM Piano Competition Organization Committee. What's new understanding have you developed of like a musical competition?
As an executive director of like the organizing committee, like taking on such a huge responsibility is like incredibly important to me, and also it just like it made me respect music competitions more because it like shows you like how like they have to do it step by step, and also like the amount of like hours and like work it takes. I think recently I went to New York to I think meet with like the people, like the representatives from New York. Being able to like branch out and see, having to like develop all of these like relations with like people internationally, I think was a really like big like recognition for me. And
Looking to the future, how do you hope to use your leadership influence and support more young people?
Just setting like a role model, like that kind of like lead by example kind of thing. You can never be too young to do what you want to do. How like you can always lead by example, like in like different areas. Like it doesn't have to be in piano or like in school. Like it's so diverse. Like you can really lead anywhere. And again, just like reiterating like, oh, you can never be too young to start something, especially if you're very passionate about it and you want to create like tangible change and like impact.
From the solitary hours on the piano bench to the international stages, every challenge and every act of kindness has shaped my resilience. Music is no longer just a melody to me. It is the vessel that transforms my experiences into leadership. It empowers me to turn compassion into action and to show the world that no matter how young we are, we can create tangible change.